Hi, I'm Frost, and welcome to this episode 1 of the Beginner's Guide, getting started on Age of Wonders Planetfall. I will say straight away, if you've played Age of Wonders 3, you need to watch my transition video, as this will be too basic for you guys, and the transition video covers what's new and what's different with this, the sequel to Age of Wonders 3. Okay, coming back to this episode, what we're going to do is I'm going to pop myself in a corner and we're going to get started. Right, so here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a new scenario. Now I suggest that you actually do a new campaign and do the tutorial, and you can watch this video before or after the tutorial. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take all the default settings. So we have, see on the left we have a choice of planets, and on the right we have a choice of difficulty settings, etc. So we're going to leave those all at default, and we're going to select our commander. As you'll see, you've got different races. And these races also have a choice of different classes. We'll cover all of that in the races and classes video. Right now, just pick the one you like the look of. We're literally just getting started, and it doesn't really matter which one you pick. I'm going to go for, who shall I go for? I'm going to go for Famita Abaz. There we go. Well, she looks fierce. Right, and we are just going to start. Now you can see there's a customize option. Once again, I'm going to cover that in races and classes on how you can customize your leader, your commander. But we're just going to start, and what it's going to do now is it's going to load up, and we're going to land on the planet, and we are essentially going to have to try and win. And there are multiple objectives in order for you to win, so therefore there's a number of different ways that you can do this. Now you can see on the left-hand side we have our objectives: last man standing, score victory, domination victory, unifying victory, and doomsday victory. And I will describe each of those in turn once we actually land on the planet. So we're going to start the game, and off we go to the planet. Here we go, we're landing right now, and we are basically going to produce our first colony. There we go, we have our colony right in the middle called Voridar, and in Voridar we have our army, which consists of our leader, glorious leader, Famita, and 5 more units. There you go. Now you can see straight away, this is a hex grid, so we can basically move around on the hex. And I will say straight away, don't panic, you've got all the time in the world. It's a turn-based system. So we make all our moves, we do all our construction, building, deployments, etc. And once we've decided we've finished everything, we end our turn, and then all the other players take their turn. So you have the time to think about what you're doing. It's a proper strategy game. And also when you're starting out, it means that you can look things up, etc. Maybe just check this guide, for example. So the colony, right here, its purpose is to extract resources from the planet and build things. It will either build troops for your armies, or it will build upgrades for itself and for its annexes. So a sector, as you see, this is our sector Voridar, our colony, sorry. Our colony is in a sector, and then we have other sectors around it. So each colony can acquire up to 4 other sectors. And what that does is it allows it to exploit more resources. And the number of sectors you can have is defined by the number of colonists you have. So right now we only have 3 colonists, which isn't enough in order to obtain another sector. And then you can see what our different resources are. We have food, which is our little leaf. We have energy, which is essentially our currency. That's what allows us to buy things and to build things. We then have over on the left here, we have production, which is the little cog. That's basically how fast we can build things. And then a little purple one over here is research. And what that does is that provides points towards our skill tree so that we can expand our skill tree and level up. All right, so beginning of the game, your focus is going to be on food. You're going to need food so that you can build more colonists, so that you can expand more quickly. So food is going to be your very first focus. All right, so now our armies, we can move them around. As you can see, we can scroll around, and this shows, whilst it's green or blue, how far you can go. Once it gets into the red, that's out of range. Different types of terrain affect how far you can move. So you can see if I follow a road over here, I can move quite a few hexes. Your distance is decided by this value here, which is 32. So when you're moving on a road, it only takes 4 units for each move. Okay, if you're going over rocky terrain, it's 12. So therefore, you want to try and stick to roads if you're trying to cover large distances. Okay, over here we have an NPC army. You can see there's 3 units in that army, and it's protecting this base. So the idea is that we can move over to these guys. So if I click over here, we can make a move, and you can see I still have moves left. So you can move in stages, decide what you want to do, where you're going to go. Okay, once we enter this unit, I can't actually reach it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to here, and we are going to end our turn. Now, just before I do that, I'm going to show you a couple of other little bits quickly. Up here is your popular support, is your morale. So right now it's popular support. What it means is that if your populace is happy, it's more productive and it can help justify your wars. These numbers up here for the number of operations that you can produce. Operations is something you use in combat or on a strategic level to do, for example, things like stealth, something like covert operations, or to attack a colony on a strategic map, which is what we're seeing here. If we zoom out, you can see as well that we can't see anything at the moment. That is because we haven't explored those areas. And if you go down to the bottom right here, you can see that all the areas in grey are the areas that we haven't explored yet. Just a quick note, if you go left or right, it wraps around. If you go north and south, up and down, it doesn't. So there are borders on the top and bottom, but not on the side. So right here, you can see that Frontier Facilities has been built for me. So I'm going to click on that quickly. And what that's going to do, so it's given us a recreational dome, standard military infrastructure, and a colonizer. So if we close that, and we do production development, there we go. So we've got a colony upgrade, sector upgrade, and we're going to close that. Right, so now what it means is on the next turn, those are going to apply, and if I click on end turn, it's going to open up our research menus, our knowledge menus. There we go. So up here on the left we have military research and we have society research. So the military research, this is a skill tree I was talking about, and this uses the knowledge up here. So the syndicate is the faction, so the race-based skill tree. So depending on which race you are, these will change. Psionics and arc, these are defined by the class that you chose, so the technology. Once again, that'll be just more in the classes. And then the Xenoplague is also defined by the class that you chose. So Xenoplague is biological warfare. And then you have other ones which are based on sort of technology warfare and psionic warfare. Moving on to the other type of research, doctrine. Once again, this is based on your class, on your race. And that focuses on global events, events that affect all the colony and are normally just generally ongoing. Your economy and operations, these are generally the same. Operations is exactly the same. Economy changes a little bit depending on your race. You might have some slightly different options. But on the whole, the vast majority of them are the same. And as you progress, you can see you can move up through your skill tree, building up more and more capabilities. All right, so don't worry about 322. It's not going to take 322 turns because as you level up, your knowledge, your ability to acquire knowledge increases, and this number comes down dramatically. Okay, we're going to close that, and then we are going to then approach this, pick our army, and we're going to approach him, and we are going to go into combat. Now, this takes you into tactical mode, and what we're going to do is we're just going to select auto combat for now, just so I can show it to you, but we'll actually cover combat in the next episode. So there we go. We chose auto combat, so we let the AI do the fight, and if we just click on here, we can see now how the fight actually took place. As you can see, we're on a map, same thing, hex grid, but now we can see our individual units. We've got the independents are moving, so they're moving around the grid. We're then moving our various units. They will have move points, which once again I'll discuss in the combat scenario in the episode, which is coming up next. Everyone is just moving into position, trying to get into range, and now we start having combat, and we can choose each unit exactly what it does, whether it moves, whether it shoots, whether it puts itself in defense mode, whether it uses special abilities, so forth and so on. Right, so I'm going to wrap up here because I think this is enough for today. And on the next episode, I'm going to cover exactly this, combat. And we're going to do it manual combat, and I'll show you how to move your troops around, how the fighting takes place, and the mechanics for that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you do subscribe, give me a thumbs up, make sure you turn on the bell icon so you get the notifications, and I will see you in the next one. All right? Enjoy Planetfall. Cheers. Bye.